go, boys. It's showtime. Wakey, wakey.
Joker is easily one of the most complicated villains in the DC universe, and behind the maniacal troublemaker is a psychological depth that begs to be explored. Although comic books and various story arcs in movies and animated shows have previously tried to look into the psyche of Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker, back in 2019, came as a revelation. The movie received several award nominations, and Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar for his performance in the titular role. The trailer for the much-awaited sequel has finally dropped, and in this video, we will break it down for you to identify which way the story is headed this time around. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. What is the premise of the trailer? Where does the story pick up? The original movie ended with Arthur emerging as the uncontrollable and chaotic Joker, and he is taken in for his crimes and inciting riots across Gotham City. The trailer opens with Arthur inside a cell, which is likely a room in Arkham Asylum where he is being held. A guard appears before his tiny window and asks him if he has a joke. From the look on his eye, you can tell that Arthur is feeling suffocated inside the confines of his cell, and it might not be long before he breaks out. The first movie was all about Arthur sharing his negativity and delusion with the entire city, which influences a majority, and the sequel seems to have followed suit, only this time, Arthur has Harley Quinn for company. They both thrive in each other's delusions, and their twisted psychology draws them closer and closer to each other. The budding romance between the two crazies is obvious, but the trailer indicates that the upcoming movie might throw up some questions again about who the real crazies are. The so-called normal people in a stagnating society, or the ones they perceive as lunatics. Are we seeing a different Harley Quinn origin story? One of the biggest talking points about the upcoming Joker Folie à Deux has been the involvement of an iconic singer and Academy Award winner Lady Gaga in the project. She is playing the partner of the iconic clown Prince, the evergreen character of Harley Quinn. Now, those of you who are aware of her origin story will remember how she was first introduced in Batman the Animated Series as a young doctor who was negatively influenced and impacted by the Joker. The character became extremely popular, and soon she was featured in comic books and future movies and shows. However, most iteration portrays her as a psychiatrist who has lost her mind, and the trailer of Joker Folie à Deux suggests that there might be changes to this origin story. We see Harley Quinn as a fellow patient of Arthur Fleck in Arkham Asylum, and she already doesn't seem to be in the right frame of mind before properly interacting with Joker. It might be the case that she used to be a psychiatrist and the loss of her sanity was not because of Joker but something else. It is clear from the trailer that she is familiar with Arthur's work and the influence that he has on the people of Gotham City. She even admires his contribution and readily admits to having been insignificant in comparison to him. The narrative has already been pitted as a romance, where the crazy clown prince will find his princess, and the immense respect that Harley Quinn has for Joker for giving the impoverished people of Gotham a voice might suggest that she is already crushing hard over him. She even plans to break out of their captivity and propose the idea to Arthur during what looks like a screening for inmates for some entertainment. However, another scene from the end of the trailer might indicate that Harley was actually his psychiatrist all along. This is when Harley Quinn can be seen walking up the courthouse steps in her iconic red suit, and this might be to testify in favor of him. There's also a chance that she is simply spearheading the protesters gathered there to free him, and we have to wait till the movie releases in October this year to find out what actually happens. Has the rotten society of Gotham gotten any better? If you've watched the original Joker movie, the indication towards a failed society in Gotham City is abundantly clear. Arthur turns into a murderous, uncontrollable psycho because of how he's treated by the society over the years. Even when he appears on a talk show with Murray, he goes on a rant about how the society abandons the downtrodden and mentally ill and shoots the show host dead after a final joke. This leads to his arrest, but it also sparks a widespread riot across the city where rioters go on a rampage to free him and support him. Basically, the words and actions of Arthur resonate with the people of Gotham because everything he said and did to the rotten societal structure of the city was true. In the trailer of Joker 2, it is pretty clear that the society has not recovered in the slightest. Brief glimpses of the streets offer a view of how several people are still running around in absolute lawlessness, and there is even a scene of Arthur being chased by another individual in clown attire, which we will explore later in the video. When Arthur is being tried in court, there is a large gathering of protesters outside, which tells you that people still support his crazy and violent ways as necessary evil. So the society hasn't gotten any better, and in all likelihood things have only gone downhill from the events of the first movie. Will there be a glimpse of Batman and Joker 2? The original Joker movie has proved that you don't necessarily need a superhero figure to balance things out when we're talking about a famous comic book villain. Arthur as the key villain is sufficient enough, and the entire movie goes along telling his story and his descent into madness. When his actions during the talk show triggers a riot in Gotham City, a rioter corners the Wayne family in an alley, and this is when Thomas Wayne and his wife are murdered, thus leaving a young Bruce orphan. Clearly, Batman exists in this chaotic society, but he was just a little kid during the events of the first movie. The trailer for Joker 2 doesn't show any trace of Batman, and you can be sure that even if the Caped Crusader does appear, it will not be in a major role. According to the timeline, Bruce Wayne is still young enough to be Batman unless there is a significant time jump, which doesn't appear to be the case. If you're hoping for a good old-fashioned Batman versus Joker rivalry, you may have to hold your horses because the narrative indicated in the trailer seems to be headed in a very different direction. Expect limited references to the larger DC universe. Joker 2019 by Todd Phillips made it pretty clear that the narrative was trying to do its own thing. The world building was evident because there were rather limited Easter eggs and references to the DC universe, apart from a few basic thematic similarities. As Joaquin Phoenix returns to reprise his iconic role in the sequel, the trailer suggests that the independent world building will continue here as well. We will get a closer look at Joker's involvement into a life of criminality and madness, but there might be little inspiration taken from the original narratives behind the key characters. In a way, Todd Phillips has been trying to create a mini-universe through these movies, and as risky as the endeavor might sound, he has done so quite masterfully so far. Who is Joker fleeing from in the trailer? There is an interesting moment in the trailer when Arthur can be seen chased by a guy in a clown mask. The copycat is also wearing the yellow and burgundy suit that Arthur wore in the first movie, and this has become a hot topic of debate. There is a fan theory about a different Joker who takes on Batman later. This theory suggests that someone else inspired by Arthur goes on to become the Joker that we all know, and the sequel might offer some insights on this matter. There is also a possibility that Arthur lied during his trial to be freed or claimed insanity, which did not please some of his loyal followers who idolized him. The one chasing him could be one of them, and it could also be a case of a fan mobbing a star for attention. Arthur, or the Joker, is no less than a hero for the impoverished and downtrodden people of Gotham City who supports his actions. We have never known Arthur to be someone comfortable with attention, and even if a so-called fan is chasing him on the streets, he would run away as he is doing in the trailer. How does Harley Quinn keep copying the Joker? The trailer sets up one thing very nicely, and it is how Arthur is like a celebrity for Harley Quinn, who almost treats him like a fangirl. This is evident from how she calls herself a nobody in comparison to him and mimics his actions. Some of his unique moves from the first movie are replicated by her, such as using her fingers to mimic a gun and then jokingly pulling the trigger. There's also the new rendition of the stare dance, where the couple can be seen strutting down the steps with a big crowd as an audience. The events for the sequel, Joker Folie à Deux, are premised after the first movie, where Arthur already became an icon in Gotham City for the downtrodden. He developed a massive following after his drastic actions during the talk show, and it is not surprising that someone like Harley Quinn made him her idol. This might explain why she replicates his moves and tries to become like him as the duo navigates new challenges in the sequel. How much of what you see in the trailer are hallucinations? One of the trickiest parts of the first Joker movie was how the narrative managed to play around with reality and the things that went down inside Arthur's head. From the looks of the trailer, the sequel is not going to be any different, and there are clearly several scenes that are possibly hallucinations of the key characters. Joker and Harley Quinn, the fantasy-filled setting of their romantic dance number on a moonlit rooftop, and some of their other colorful scenes of togetherness seem to be a distant dream from their reality inside the Arkham Asylum. There is also a scene in what looks like a wedding chapel, and Gary, the man Arthur spared in the first movie, can be seen as his best man. It is unlikely that such a scene has taken place in real life. The difference between fantasy hallucinations and reality can also be understood from the clever use of colors in the trailer, where everything appears bright and colorful from their perspective, but turns to a dull and depressing monochromatic tone when it is seen from the perspective of the viewer. Is music going to play a key role in Joker Folie à Deux? We use music to make us whole, to balance the fractures within ourselves. We hear these lines very early in the trailer, and the importance of music in the narrative is going to be significant. The original Joker movie was also appreciated for some mesmerizing numbers and background scoring, and it appears to be no different for the sequel. The trailer shows that Arthur first sets his eyes on Harley Quinn while she is a part of what looks like a choir session. It is likely that music is used as a therapeutic tool for the patients of Arkham Asylum. Asylum. There are going to be scenes where the music will leave you spellbound, and the trailer even hints at some magical sets to ensure the visual impact is no less during these moments. It will be a romance of epic proportions between Arthur and Harley Quinn, and the music will be fittingly excellent. Does Joker and Harley Quinn get their own TV show? We have already spoken about how the TV show with Murray played a decisive role in determining the outcome of Arthur turning into the Joker. In the trailer of the sequel, we get a quick glimpse of a TV show set, which resembles the Murray show, but it is now run by Joker and Harley. In all likelihood, this is a scene playing out in their heads, but it would be a shocker if it eventually turns out that the crazy duo have somewhat gotten their own TV show. Imagine the kind of things they would let rip in their rants and hilarious antiques in this show. Marvelous Verdict, a trailer that promises a masterpiece. You might not be a believer of the morning show's The Day proverb, but you have to admit that trailers often offer a clear indication about the upcoming movie. If the glimpses we get are materialized successfully, then you can expect Joker Folie à Deux to be a masterpiece that will set the award stages on fire, yet again with several nominations. With Joaquin Phoenix returning as the Joker and Lady Gaga indicating that she can deliver a killer performance as Harley Quinn, we're all set for an unusual romance between the two psychopaths. That being said, the movie will not appeal to the hardcore fans of the larger DC universe who don't appreciate changes. Joker 2019 introduced a steady departure from the conventional lore, and the sequel will be on similar lines. An abundance of action and thrilling moments is unlikely, but you can be sure of an emotional, thought-provoking journey. It is easy to mess up the follow-up of a classic, but the Joker sequel doesn't look to be heading there with such a promising trailer. Let's just hope that our expectations are not squashed when the movie drops. Don't forget to tell us in the comments below about your thoughts on the trailer of Joker Folie à Deux and what you liked most about the upcoming movie. Also, share your views on Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn and what you make of her performance in the trailer. If you liked the content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.